Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here, coming at you from the Knife Center. We've got a special guest today, Mr. Jeremy Jack from Kizer. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Dave. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Good to see you here. Well, we've got some new stuff from the 2024 set of releases from Kizer and some recent favorites to take a look at. So let's get into it. We got a bunch of knives here in front of us, like I said, and the first ones here are actually these are all available at the Knife Center very recently. The first is the Invictus, and this is already becoming a pretty noteworthy looking design in my book. But tell us a little bit about this, Jeremy.
So this is our second collaboration with Damn Designs. This is the Invictus. It's one of my favorites we've had. I've been EDCing it regularly. $75. You can get it at Knife Center. You can get it on our website. This is 154 CM steel, micarta handles, inset liners, deep carry pocket clip, button lock, and flipper as well. So a lot of options there for you.
So the blade's what about like a 3 1/4 inch blade there?
Yes.
More or less.
Coming at 3.3.
Some really nice details for a knife in this price range. I mean, the button lock action, of course, feels very good. Yes. Quite nice. But it's not all just like standard bits on this. You know, you've got the hexagonal pivot going on there, which looks really cool. My favorite detail is this micarta filler tab on the front there.
So nice attention to detail there. So you can fully reverse this. It's going to have a super deep carry clip. But
yeah, check that out.
Even talking about that filler tab having function, so that beautiful pivot also has a function.
Okay.
So if you've ever had to take apart your knife, you know sometimes the pivot will spin on the knife.
Sure.
That actually locks it in there.
Keeps it captive. Yeah,
yep,
cool.
Fully locked in. So if you go to disassemble it, that actually serves a function, and it looks nice doing it too.
Sure thing, man. Yeah, they're very clean looking. Like I said, I love the micarta on that too. It's just a little different enough. Doesn't pop out like metal does. So perfectly flush. $75, you said.
Yep, super ergonomic, locks in. Jimping's great, right where it needs to be. So just been a favorite of mine, and it's been a fan favorite too.
Yeah, it's easy to see why. Get yours now at the link below, of course. Links below for all of this where we can, of course, will be in the description below. Next knife.
So this is the Beyond. This is also a new release, so we're gonna be going from kind of the newest stuff all the way down. This is gonna be a titanium frame lock, kind of having some fun with the lines here. You can see a lot of cutouts, a lot of angles. One of the cool things about this knife is, if you notice besides the pivot on the front here, nice clean design, your hardware is actually gonna be on the back. And what's nice about that is if you're a knife guy, this is 2 T8 screws, that's it. So, and then the pivot, but real easy disassembled.
Sure. And keeps that presentation side nice and
very clean. And you see the lines, they go to the blade, they go to the back spacer. Just overall a fun angular design.
Yeah, and of course, being a Kizer, the flipping action, well, it's not a flip.
No, it's not a flip. Reverse flick.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, nice and snappy. Ball bearings all the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you're a reverse flick guy like I am myself, that's super reliable, super fun, has a nice action to it, has a nice click and pop to it.
Did we say S35VN on the blade here?
Yes.
And price points?
$169.
$169
on that. Yep.
Obviously, if you're watching this when this video comes out, these prices should be current. In the future, as things shift, again, check out the links in the description for the latest. This next knife here is a new version of, honestly, one of my favorites in the Kizer lineup, and a little bit of an underappreciated knife.
It's actually a limited version too, so these are going to be limited. And you say underappreciated, but Tom, our camera guy, he actually, when I came here, he's like, "Hey, look what I'm carrying," and it was a Justice.
One of these.
It was the original Justice. So
yeah, for folks at home, Thomas, our regular guy, is out for just a little bit of vacation, a little bit of time off. So we have a Tom filling in. It was the closest we could get.
Yeah. So what's nice about this one is it's got a lot of the same features of the original Justice. Like you said, it's gonna have like a great detent. But what we've done is we did a limited run. We did beautiful blue denim micarta. We're also gonna have different versions too. There's reds and there's blacks. So you can check out on the site and see the availability. I know they have some, get them while they last. But yeah, this is a great knife. Like you said, $73.
Yep,
you get
affordable.
Super dialed in flipper. One of the things I like about this is it's almost hard to fail. I know people say that, it's hard to fail. You can if you try, but yeah, just a great knife. Nice blade length on that too, 3.7 inches, so big full-size knife.
What I like about it is, it's a perfectly in the zone blade shape for just everyday carry.
Yes.
But this is a bona fide, affordable, true tactical knife.
It is. You've a feature
Yep, you've got the glass breaker on the end. You've got the fast access to the blade. You've got the finger guard there, so you've got significant amount of protection. But it's not so like single-purpose tactical that you're not going to want to carry it and use it every day. That's what I like about it.
Nope. If you're somebody who's tactically minded, but you want something that's a functional EDC knife, not like a reverse karambit, you know, this is going to have it. It's going to have your glass breaker, great jimping. Actually has jimping on the bottom here as well, so you can see that. Just all around, going to be very secure in the hand and just great action.
Yeah,
$73.
Yeah, not going to break the bank at all. So if it has to go into evidence for any reason, you're not, the next one is one I'm particularly interested in as well, and that's the Momo.
I'm particularly interested in you opening it.
Oh, come on, man. He knows it.
I set this up.
So the reason I like this, before I get to the open part, is well, all right, fine. Let's do the open part here.
Let's do it.
All right, so it's a front flipper, and I can get it, but it's more of a slow roller, really, I think.
So I want to do an experiment.
Okay.
So at Blade Show, somebody was showing another person how to use a front flipper, and they said, set it up, don't look at the knife, and then try to front flip it. Oh, maybe not. All right, well, experiment failed. So
I'm the worst one to do this experiment on. That's well established by this point that front flippers and I are not always the best of friends.
But so this is a fun knife, and just we're having fun with it now. But the minute I got this, I opened it up for seeing it for the first time. I had a big smile on my face. It's a nice big knife. You can see it right there. It's over a 4-inch blade, 5-inch handle, so 9 inches of knife altogether.
Yeah.
Kiradashi design, but also big folder. The designer kind of mashed those two together. His name's Vladimir Legachev, so Russian designer. Makes a lot of sense.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Well, I love the lines of it. For one, they're graceful, but two, I'm always big into like that crossover area of stuff that also does food prep well. And this looks like it's got that drop and got the angle to the belly there where you could do a heck of a lot of cutting board work.
Yes, so you have a nice narrow handle, and you're going to be able to do like rocking cuts on that very well, right? And it's talking about the design, the lines, they flow through it. They go from there to there. We did a split bolster look. You have the clip even follows the lines. Normally this style of clip isn't desirable. There's a small kind of thin clip, but it works really well on this. Carries very well in the pocket for being a 9-inch knife.
Yeah.
Just about 5 ounces.
It's not super wide this way. So
and it's tapered, so when it's in the pocket, you can still reach in and access the things that you like. And this is $109, 154 cm.
And is that aluminum handles or?
Aluminum over steel, yep.
Nice.
And it's got a nice powder coating on it, so it gives it
it's not slippery at all.
Yeah, and most of our aluminum is going to be that way. Yeah. So always going to give you a little bit of traction.
Very, very nice. All right, we've got a new version of a fan favorite here, the standard Sheepdog.
This is our all brass 3V button lock Sheepdog.
And it's all like you can feel it.
It's
all brass.
It's brass, so it's definitely a collector's piece, but it is still fun to carry. And one nice thing about this one, it probably has the glassiest. People like hydraulic, buttery, whatever. This probably is like the glassiest closing that I've had on a Sheepdog. And when you close it, you just don't feel any friction. The blade just closes.
Yeah.
So, but it is big. Only $129 though for all brass and 3V.
And a powder steel like that. That's pretty good.
Yep.
I like that pairing too because brass obviously as you use it is going to start to take on its own patinaed character, and you went with a steel that's not a stainless steel either. So the blade can kind of evolve with the handle a little bit, which is pretty cool.
So this is actually my personal one that I brought today. So it's starting to just get a little bit of that patina. I've had it for a few weeks now, and the blade is starting to be not as shiny, and it's gonna wear with the user very well.
Yeah, very cool.
Yep. But this is our button lock version, all brass. This is the other speaking thing about this, or the other talking point is almost 8 ounces. So I think it's about 7.9 ounces. So you're almost at half a pound.
Like that's going to carry more heavy than this Momo, right?
That is correct. Yeah, you're going to definitely notice this in your pocket a little bit more than the Momo.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, it's got the button lock like you mentioned, and then the other kind of design iterations over the years. The flipper tab delete, the addition of the blade cutout instead of the frame lock flipper versions that kind of launched this knife to fame.
Very popular. It's what I consider one of our legacy models, and usually a knife that has that staying power. Sheepdog is kind of where it started with.
Yeah, for sure. And still a slicey blade. It's big and wide, but it's not so thick that it's going to be unusable for anything day to day.
And now you were talking about the flipper tab delete, the button locks. So the next one is going to be in our clutch lock.
There you go.
So this one is wearing fat carbon. This one is gonna have the, yep, there you go, the clutch lock.
Yep.
And if you don't know about Kizer's clutch lock, what that is an adjustable bar lock style. So under this scale, there's dots or little holes in there that's milled in. You can adjust the tension on your spring. So that's what behind the Kizer clutch lock, the idea is you can kind of make it and tune it to where you like.
Exactly how it feels perfect for you.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so this one is gonna have S35BN, gonna have the deep carry clip, and just this beautiful nebula carbon fiber. This is one of the patterns we've had. We play around with a few different ones, but we've been liking this one a lot lately.
I would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Considering we got a couple more to take a look at.
So this is a great knife. This is the original. This is an Azo design. This one right here you're looking at is 99 bucks. So you're getting fat carbon. You're getting this nice point blade.
What's the steel on this one?
This one is Elmax. This
For
one is
100
Elmax.
bucks.
100 bucks. And you have this nice tumbled PVD finish on here, which I really like, and a milled titanium pocket clip.
That is a lot of knife
It is.
for 100 bucks.
But
man,
one of the reasons is in this grouping is because of this nebula fat carbon. Like I said, we've been playing a lot with the materials, with some of our legacy models, and this one hasn't been around as long as the Sheepdog, but it's very popular because it starts out in the $82 range and goes all the way up as high as you want.
Yeah.
So.
Now you may or may not know the answer to this question, but I've always wondered the name. Why original? Is it?
So that was before my time,
Okay.
and I'm not exactly sure why it's the original, but it's a good question to ask. So I don't know the answer to that question. So Azo, I'm coming to ask you that question. Why the original?
Talk to us later once you figure it out.
Yes.
Because I have been curious about that. I'm wondering if it's like an old, like one of the first knife drawings he ever did, and it just nothing ever happened to it until recently.
And pulled it out. Nope, not sure.
But it's a great little EDC size and shape. You got that 3-inch blade, just a perfect little everyday drop point.
Yeah, so I actually held a little poll on our Facebook group, and I had said, what's the knife that you would use to introduce people to the Kizer brand? And this was the one that I picked because of the price point, the different materials that we have, the size of it, the
quality,
the quality. Button lock is very intuitive for people. So.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, the blade length is just right. It's that size you can take just about anywhere, but there's enough handle there where if you want to make some bigger, heavier cuts, you can choke up around the pivot there and you can still get a nice meaty grip on it, which is nice.
Yeah, so the original right here in the Nebula Fat Carbon, 99 bucks.
Excellent.
Great deal.
Excellent. One more fat carbon. We actually saw this very recently on one of our new Knives of the Week videos, but
yes,
worth talking about again.
So it's a drop bear. If you're not familiar with the drop bear, where have you been? This is one of our most popular knives. This is going to enter that legacy status with the Sheepdog, I believe. This is our latest offering. We have fat carbon. A couple new things that we've done on this one that we haven't done before is this is our first offering in S45VN. So we're able to start using that, and it's our first time using a DLC coating. So traditionally we use like a PVD coating, but we wanted to take it up a step further. DLC is going to be stronger, tougher.
Cool.
It's going to be more wear resistant.
Yeah.
And it's going to have all the same features that you know and love on the drop bear.
I love that pocket clip on some of the
Yes.
more premium versions of this knife with that rounded section right here. Just that consideration of the ergonomics in the hand are appreciated.
Yep, and the great pocket clip. It is reversible, so lefties rejoice. It's going to be a truly ambidextrous knife. You have the thumb studs, and this one is coming in at 209, a little bit higher, but that's because you're getting kind of premium all the way around.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Similar to the original, it's a little bit beefier, as you can clearly see from the two of them next to each other. But some of those same kind of bullet points apply here too. It's got that 3-inch blade. You can take it just about everywhere. You've got enough handle for a nice meaty grip. But it's not a big overbuilt thing that you're gonna wish you left at home because it's taking up so much space in your pocket. It's a definite winner.
Nope, definitely, yeah, like I said, it's definitely super popular, great knife all the way around, a lot of things taken into consideration.
Excellent. Well, the next knife on the table we've got here because in some ways it combines, it feels very at home next to the original and the drop bear. Almost, it's got a little bit of its own identity, but in some ways it feels like a nice cross between the two in a way.
Yeah, so I would say that this is a great way to access what those knives offer at a little bit of a lower price point. So this is the sub 3 OBK. This is a blacked out version. You're getting aluminum handles with that powder coating that I mentioned, getting a 154 cm blade. You're still getting our clutch lock, right? So 89 bucks, you're still getting the clutch lock, getting a deep carry pocket clip. This is kind of a sub 3-inch, no nonsense knife guy's EDC knife, right? That's kind of how I would put this one out there.
Yeah, it's got the the more aggressive finger guard than the other two. So if you like that sort of thing, if you need your tactical knife to be under 3 inches, this could be an option. But
that is true. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little bit similar materials to the standard version of the Drop Bear.
Very similar, yes.
For a little bit less money.
Yep.
But a little bit more of like the slender blade profile of the original, which is also a sub $100 knife at its starting point. Yeah, I think it works really well, especially when you think about it, in those terms. And has this clutch lock been like pivoted around, or is this like right out of the box?
This is all. Most of these are right out of the box. The only ones that aren't are the ones that, well, I guess the ones you pulled off the shelf for me are right out of the box too. Yeah. So everything here is right out of the box.
Yeah, like we're gonna do something where we actually open up one of these clutch locks and mess around with the springs, because we've never felt the need to. Quite honestly, it's nice to have the option. But you don't need to feel like you're gonna need to tune it to be happy with it out of the box. So this is great.
They're usually, that's one of the few things that Kizer's known for is our action with our button locks, our clutch lock, always good action, right? So I think that's one of the things that we like to offer people to adjust if they really want to.
Nice. Well, speaking of button locks.
Yes, little guy here.
Tell me about the little guy.
So this is the Banish, a Jacob Lundquist design, and it's based off of his Banish model, but he got some feedback. He wanted to make it more fidget friendly. And so he said, sure, why not? He went ahead, he put our button lock on it. He put a little tiny front flipper there. I don't know if you can see that, but it's just the smallest little thing. But what's great is
it works. Boom. Even for me, you saw how much I struggled with that Momo.
Let's see you give it a try.
But even for me, like, this has got two things going against it. One is the front flipper tab, and two, it's the small size, which is going to complicate that for me. And yet,
look at that.
This one just
it was gonna happen.
It just plain works.
Yes.
We'll cut that out. No, we're not. They're gonna leave that in.
Leave that in. We'll add that to the montage. But it's a great knife. So this one's gonna have a 2.3-inch blade. So nice, small EDC style blade. Handle's about 3. So overall package is a little over 5 inches, right? Has that fun action that we saw there. Has a deep carry pocket clip, and you're getting black micarta, all blacked out, which I'm glad they did. I love this black micarta on this because it gets the wear in with it as you use it.
Yeah.
$45. $45.
Too
and
shabby
reversible pocket.
Right. Because like button lock obviously is a right hand facing lock, but certainly easy enough to use.
Yep, if you want
lefty friendly. Man, this is cool at this size. Like I've experienced this design in some larger sizes before, but something about this small size, there's something real nice to think about it as just like a package opener, a little box cutter.
It is.
Because the sway back handle will kind of naturally kick your hand up and out of the way. You can get right down in there with that Warncliffe style
And I think
blade.
you mentioned it about the sway back because you have bigger hands than I do. I have medium-sized hands. But naturally where everything falls in line, where my thumb is, where that little choil is, everything's locked in. So opening packages, even if you want to go a little bit bigger, I think you're going to be okay because it's just great ergonomics overall in that thing.
Yeah, pretty cool little knife and great price.
Yeah.
For sure. Let's go to the opposite end of the spectrum.
Very opposite. I mean, we're talking opposite in materials, opposite in size. This is the Huntsman. So this is a fun, big knife. Recently, you guys just added it to your catalog. It's been very popular with our fans. It's one of those ones where the minute it's gone, people want more. So super fun, super great materials. You have titanium with the carbon fiber inset. You have this big kind of, what would you call that? That grind?
This section here?
Yeah, what would you just say the blade shape is?
Oh, the recurve blade?
The recurve with a little bit of that tonto front. Just a really cool design. And they take like the jimping, they move it all the way down to the back spacer. Overall, just a fun knife.
And this is a bit more of like the engineering showpiece too for you guys.
It is. It's kind of, we can do it because we can, right? Like the way this fits inside this inlay, it's just seamless all the way through. Nice big titanium geared back spacer. Yeah, just a fun piece.
Fun piece. I love the design of this little section here. You got ground and cut through section here in the blade, and that works really well for that reverse flick, which is just plain fun.
A little different than your traditional opening hole, just a little more stylized.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, good stuff. And as a working knife, man, this back section here, I mean, your grip strength comes from these back fingers, and that feels...
You're locked in.
Fantastic.
You've got a full hand and you're locked in.
Very cool.
Yes.
Very nice.
So we're entering kind of the premium stuff, so we're going to start seeing fancier materials, fancier work, a little bit of designing. So next one up is the Varatas.
Pretty recent release of this version. You have the gray titanium version before.
Yes.
And tell me about this one here.
So, as you mentioned, we had the gray one. Very popular knife. Has a few key features that people really liked. We decided to upgrade a little bit, add some interesting features. Starting out, you'll notice it is all black. It's got this blue anodized hardware, kind of that flame, give it almost a Damascus look, but it's flame anodization. And we still have this great milling, Jacob Lundquist's little arrow milling that he likes to do, or his little triangle milling. We kept that. That was on the original Varatas. You have a titanium pocket clip and great front flipping action. You want to give it a shot?
Oh boy, here we go.
Look, see, I told you, I wouldn't lie to you guys. Great front flipping action.
You know, one of the things I'm appreciating about like the stuff Kizer does in general, but we're seeing a few of them here on this table, is the blades. As a drop point guy myself, some of these blades are they're spot on. They're built to cut well in everyday scenario. They're not trying to be a survival knife in your pocket, which there's something to be said for those, but in terms of just like cutting the stuff you're gonna cut every day, this is something that's gonna be more satisfying in many instances. I'm just loving what I'm seeing.
The stuff that we're cutting every day, generally.
Yeah.
Another key thing about this knife is one of the things that you notice is how light it is.
Yeah.
So just a hair over 3 ounces.
Yeah.
So if you're like one of those people that like your blade length to tie into your ounces, I know there's those people you want, if it's a 4-inch blade, 4 ounce, this is gonna hit that. It's real light knife.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Next up is a fan favorite. It's a favorite of mine. It is the Militaw. This is a Jonathan Styles design. Super popular, great materials, great action, great clean lines. One of the things, this is also another front flipper. It doesn't have to be. It has the reverse flick, the thumb hole if you want. But out of all the ones that you handled earlier, this was the easiest one.
This one does front flip pretty easily.
Easiest.
Well, and the reason specifically we've got this on the table next to this blacked out knife is we've got a soon to be coming out version that we're getting to talk about right now.
Yeah, so you're gonna hear it first here, depending on when this is edited.
Depending on when we actually get our act together and publish this video.
We're gonna be doing an updated version of this because this was so popular. People wanted to see different versions. We're looking at a blacked out titanium frame, DLC blade, some fat carbon insert. Maybe I'll keep that a surprise for your editing guys to drop that in so they can see that.
But I saw a picture earlier. It looks very sweet.
Looks very nice, and it's gonna be comparable in price. Right?
Okay.
It's
so going from micarta to the fat carbon is not going to be a huge jump up?
There'll be a little bit, but it's reasonable. We're not trying to get rich off of the Militaw. So, but overall, just a great design, and I love that we're updating it. Until that one releases, though, we do have this one. You guys still have them in stock, so if you want to get it, you can come check out KnifeCenter's link. Get them while you can, because we've had to restock these quite a few times.
All right, next up.
Yes. So
in the premium space.
This is a very good knife. This is the Sparrow. And I mean very good as in overall, just the attention to detail, the things that you're getting for it. It feels like a higher end knife than what you're paying for. So this is $159 to start things out. It's got beautifully blasted titanium handles, beautiful stonewash on the S35 VM blade. Just a flipper, old school, traditional opening. Nothing super crazy and fancy, just a beautiful design from...
Just done right.
Yes, from Blackbird Blades is the one who designed this. And he has a bunch of customs that people go crazy over. So we're glad to bring this out.
Yeah, nestles in the hand quite nicely. I like this, actually. As I just noticed this line right here between the index finger area and the flat here. My middle finger hits that quite naturally in just an intuitive grip.
Yeah.
So that feels pretty nice.
A lot of cool little design features, and something you touched on with the Invictus earlier is there is a tab here for flipping the pocket clip, and all that's internalized. So you don't have to look at an extra screw or anything like that.
Yeah, very
Keeps
clean.
it very clean and simple, and the hardware is all blasted to match. So just...
So it's going to pick up pocket wear really nicely over time.
Which is why we don't have mine out here. This is a new one because mine's got all the snail trails and everything.
Yeah,
it's a very loved knife. But yeah, $159, just a great overall design. It's very comfortable in the hand, very useful blade shape. You can use tips, you can do a little bit of rocking. So overall, just a great design.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah,
very nice. All right, we got big fixed blade on the table now.
I'm gonna let you introduce this one.
It's a big fixed blade, you guys.
What do we got?
All right. This is the Metaproptizol.
Yes, that's actually pretty good.
Take 2 tablets by mouth once every 6 hours.
Yes. So it's a big knife with a big name.
Here it is, in case my phonetically sounding it out there didn't make sense. We got the name right here on the blade. It does sound like a medicinal name.
It does,
actually,
and we've heard that a couple times.
But it's a cool blade. Like, it feels good, it looks good. Tell me about it.
So it looks good, I think, is the interesting for being such a big blade. It's got a lot of nice little touches to it. So I love this kind of fuller that just stretches out really thin, follows the blade along. You got a nice slight recurve to it. It tapers down at the tip, so you can do more fine cutting if you want. Your hand sits...
Well, you've got that strength, too, from like that compound grind there right at the tip.
Exactly.
Also, yeah.
Yep. And then your hand sits below the cutting edge, so if you want to, you can do some closer cutting, some rocking cutting. So I'll get over on this side for you. Jimping all the way here in the back, so you've got lots of jimping that can lock you in. Yeah, just nice touch. Nice touch right here down at the bottom.
That butt cap,
Yes.
which isn't a butt cap, is pretty neat.
It's almost like a reverse bolster. It's right down at the bottom, just that little section.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting touch to the design.
Yeah, it gives it a touch. I like how the black liner kind of pulls that forward. Yeah, I mean, great camp knife. That's what it is to me.
And yeah, this is going to be able to do food prep. It's going to be able to do basic camp cutting or bigger camp cutting as well.
D2 steel.
D2 steel, yep. Micarta handles.
Kydex sheath. You've got the rotatable clip here with the J retention style hook on the back or on the inside. So some options are good. I'm guessing this is probably a Tech-Lock compatible
you can,
spacing here.
Yep, you'll be able to adjust it on there for you.
Throw some aftermarket stuff on it. It's supported.
So
What's the price point on this one?
This one is $79, I believe. I might be wrong. They'll update it down there, but I believe it's about 79 cents.
A lot of knife for the money, that's for sure.
Very cool.
Dig it. Speaking of a lot of knife for the money, we've got here a knife from the laconic line, or the laconic level of the Kizer lineup.
It's one step above.
Oh, it is?
It is.
My apologies.
It is one step above.
Well, the reason I mentioned that line is because last year, folks who follow this channel know the Amicus, one of my favorite Kizer knives. I think it's a phenomenal knife. It's a knife that I find easy to recommend to just about anyone, and it's only like 45 bucks.
It's great.
Great design.
He is right. It's an amazing knife. I actually brought it here with me today because I like to carry it around as a backup knife. It's a good knife. But this is in very much the same spirit of that knife. So you're getting some interesting materials, great button lock. So this is the Brat. A couple of interesting key features about this is this handle is an integral G10 handle.
Don't see that very often
You don't see it very often, no.
But look at the back side of that. What that gives you is just this nice, smooth, grippable surface. Nothing to pinch you, nothing to interrupt that feeling.
Keeps it very clean, keeps it lightweight with having that solid G10 handle. Got jimping that technically goes from here all the way down here if you want to count that.
Yeah.
Great knife sounds. I don't know if that's something we can pick up on the mic, but very cool knife.
Yeah, you definitely hear like the G10-ness of it, but it's not an unsatisfying sound at all.
No, it's very nice, very satisfying, reliable button lock. You have the flipper as well. You have a deep carry clip on the back. These are 89 bucks, 154 cm. Very cool knife, and it's just interesting, functional, 3.5-inch blade. Super cool.
Yeah, I was thinking of a different knife when I mentioned the laconic one, so apologies for that. But this has some similar design strengths that I appreciated from the Amicus, however, just kind of stretched up and amped up a little bit.
Same designer, so it's very much in the same breadth of the Amicus, kind of its older brother almost.
Yeah. No, I dig it. It feels really good, and yeah, great blade shape.
Something about having that smooth G10 all the way around.
It just nestles in. It just feels great.
Yeah. Yep. Super fun knife. Great price.
Excellent.
Good materials.
Very, very good.
Okay, so this is the Assassin. Our original fan favorite was in micarta.
No, this is the original fan favorite.
Yeah, that is true. Okay. The original Assassin. There we go. The original Assassin.
Sorry.
No, it was good. Came in micarta, stainless steel liners. Was a great overall usable knife. It hits that 3-inch blade length. Has our button lock. We decided to dress it up a little bit. These are going to be carbon fiber scales, black liners, black backspacer, deep carry clip, and 154 cm button lock flipper. Kind of a no-nonsense, ergonomic knife. Helps you really lock in. Great blade shape.
Yeah.
Good piece.
My favorite part about this version is the carbon fiber here is not just it's not just carbon fiber. Like we'll see if we can get the light to pick up the ripples there. Problem is, on camera, it might just look like your normal carbon fiber sheen, but there is texture to this, following kind of like that basket weave pattern going on. So it feels really satisfying under your fingertips. It's not slick. It's interesting. It's not something I've seen on any other knife out there.
No,
so it's something original.
There we go. Bring it all back. We're just full circle.
But it does. It feels really good. And like you said, it's a great knife. 3-inch button lock flipper, good materials for the price, nice little design for sure.
Beautiful knife.
There you go.
So next one is a cool one. Has a great backstory. So this was a kind of a fan submitted design. Kizer went to their fan page, said, "Hey, submit some designs." They kind of ran a poll to pick which one would win, and this one got voted on. So this was the first one that they brought to life. This is the Cryptid. Yeah,
very nice. So we've seen this on the channel before, but so I've given my take on it. But how do you feel about this knife? What do you like about it?
You can tell somebody who is into knives designed it. It has things that we all want on a knife, and part of that is this nice swoop here in the blade. Really lock your thumb in there. They extended the jimping very far. If you notice, the pocket clip is inset into the micarta. So those are things that I would ask for on a knife.
Just those nice little details that separate it from the good to the better.
Yep. Just a very comfortable handle, very usable blade shape, and an affordable package at $72, I believe, 72 or 73, I believe as it is. It's just a great thing, and it's got a cool story, right? It came from the community.
For sure.
Keep carry pocket clip and reversible. So a lot of little things that we all like on our knives.
Indeed.
Very cool. Next up is one of my favorites, right up there with the Invictus, and that is the Task. Super cool knife, very great usable blade shape, very slim, slender handle. Still gonna have our adjustable clutch lock, 154 cm, steel liners that are weight relieved. There's that pocket clip for you.
Reversible.
Yep. Thumb stud on there if you want to use it. You can use the clutch lock. So very cool overall.
Now, is that a adjustable thumb stud? You can move that around, it looks like.
Good, thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, so you can change where you want your thumb stud to be depending on where you like it.
So you don't have the full range of motion because the handle kicks in a little bit, but you can move it just a little bit.
Yep.
I wonder if it's not there, you could get in and do the reverse flick.
I suspect you would.
It's a possibility.
Maybe after the camera's done, we'll pull it off there.
Mess around, do a little bit. Yeah. What I like about the name of this feels so great because this is like a no-nonsense blade shape. And Task is just such a no-nonsense.
It's honestly a great name for a knife because most of the time we're just doing quick little EDC tasks.
Yeah,
that's a great one to go to.
Yeah,
micarta handles, I love our micarta. It's got great texture, it's got great color, great tactile sense, that cloth feeling. So
good stuff.
All right, and I think we're ending on a pretty good note with this one. This is the Gavel, and it's got a cool feature to it. It's got a little micro flipper right here on the back side, and it doesn't look like it, but we'll see if I can do it with the Bandit. Yeah, see, there we go.
It works pretty well.
It works really well.
It's funny, before we started filming, we were commenting, because this has also been on the channel before, and I never had a problem with this small flipper tab. It just plain worked. And then I flubbed it.
He did. He flubbed it. As soon as I gave it to him,
as I was saying, so it always worked every time.
Redemption arc, let's go. There we go, see?
Okay, there you go.
But it's cool. It's got the burlap micarta backspacer, the brass bolsters.
That's gonna be a nice touch.
And if you flip it over, titanium pocket clip.
Little pocket clip, very cool.
This one's coming in at 83, I believe. Somewhere right around, take a couple bucks. There's a lot here. I think that's about right though.
I mean, this is definitely one that feels higher end than its price point.
Yeah,
for sure. With that milling, with the brass bolsters there and everything.
Yeah, and it's got great smooth action. There we go. Now I flubbed it. I flubbed the Band-Aid.
Yeah, you got an excuse for letting it slide.
But it's weight relieved, so a lot of things taken into consideration just to give a nice different package. I think this kind of sets itself apart from pretty much anything on the table. It's a classy, usable, about 3-inch blade.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's all we've got to take a look at for now. Like I said, some of the newest stuff is right here at the beginning, but there is still plenty more new stuff from Kizer coming out throughout the year. Yes. Keep an eye on this channel, of course, where you can see all of that. If you want to get your hands on these, check out the links in the description. You'll see what is available and the most up-to-date pricing if this is something you're watching in the future. Jeremy, thanks so much, man.
Thanks, David. Appreciate you having me.
Appreciate you having me.
It's fun doing this.
See you next time.
Guys.